I'm making a Vietnamese lemongrass chicken noodle salad. This is one of my favourite ways to eat. It's a really fresh, tasty, healthy, Asian-inspired dish that's great for lunch or dinner. For the marinade, we need some lemongrass. Lemongrass is one of my favourite ingredients. It's so fragrant and adds a beautiful flavour to any Asian dish. It does have quite tough leaves on the very outside, so just peel back about 2 or 3 of the outer leaves. Now, to release the flavour and all that fragrance from the lemongrass, we want to bash it up a little bit. So get the back of your knife and just hammer it. Wow, and that just really instantly brings out all of that flavour and fragrance to it. It's amazing. So now you need to finely chop the lemongrass, and that goes into a mortar and pestle. Now we need some ginger, about a thumb's length. Peel it with a teaspoon, best way to peel ginger, so that you don't end up wasting any of the ginger flesh. Roughly chop the ginger. What I love about Asian food is that there's just so many fresh, fragrant ingredients that goes into making it, like, you know, a lot of ginger, garlic, the lemongrass, kaffir lime leaves, and then so many fresh herbs. It's the reason why it's such a tasty cuisine, yet it's really healthy too. And now some garlic. Add some turmeric and a little bit of brown sugar, about 1 teaspoon. And now we just bash it all up until it's a paste. If you don't have a mortar and pestle, you can always put this mixture into a small food processor and blend it up that way. Now just add some fish sauce for the saltiness. I know fish sauce can be a little bit stinky, but it's really essential because it adds such a good depth of flavour to your dishes. It's got that really kind of salty, savoury, umami flavour. Again, if you don't have fish sauce or you really don't like it, you could add soy sauce instead. Now add in a little bit of oil to mix it all up. Then that's your lemongrass marinade for the chicken. I've just thinly sliced it, but you can also use chicken thigh. It's important to pat the chicken dry, and the reason for that is when I stir fry it, I don't want any moisture on the chicken, because if there is kind of moisture or water on the chicken, it will end up stewing in the pan instead of getting a nice golden brown colour on it. So just put the chicken in a bowl and add the marinade. If you have the time, it would be really nice to let this marinate for a few hours and really let all of those lemongrass, garlic and ginger flavours absorb into the chicken. But at a minimum, 15 minutes is okay. So while the chicken's marinating, you can prepare your vegetables. Just chop up some green beans, some carrot, some cucumber and cherry tomatoes. Get your pan on the heat and get it really hot. I'm talking really hot, so up on high heat, because one of people's biggest mistakes when they do a stir fry is that they don't have the heat high enough and they end up stewing the meat instead of getting it nice and caramelized and brown on the outside. So that's what we're looking for. So get it nice and hot, add a little drizzle of oil. I'm using avocado oil, and the reason I'm using that is because it naturally has a very high smoke point. So because I'm doing such high heat cooking, I want an oil that will stand up to that heat. While the chicken's cooking, drop the noodles into some boiling water. I'm using rice stick noodles, which are very popular and very common in Vietnam. So when your chicken is just cooked and it's nicely browned, we can add a little bit of coconut milk to the pan, and what this will do is help lift all of the bits and pieces of the lemongrass and the garlic and the ginger that have stuck to the bottom of the pan, and of course give it a really nice flavour too. It will start bubbling straight away, and just get a wooden spoon and scrape it gently. And the coconut milk will really boil and condense down so that there's not much liquid left, but it will give the chicken an amazing flavour. Just keep checking on the noodles so that you don't overcook them. They'll only take about 3 or 4 minutes to cook, but just check a piece. Almost done, needs about another minute. Wow, you should smell the chicken. The coconut and the turmeric, the lemongrass. My God, it smells good. It really just takes me straight back to Vietnam. I travelled Vietnam earlier this year, and I've got to say, it's one of my favourite countries. The food is incredible. It's so fresh and fragrant, really healthy, and the people there are so friendly, and they're all really good cooks. Drain the noodles and then grab a pair of scissors and cut the noodles in a few different places. That way, the noodles will be shorter and much easier to eat. The noodles are still quite hot, so I'm going to add a little drizzle of coconut milk just to stop them from sticking together. And now we can add our chicken and get all of the marinade from the pan. You don't want to waste any of that because it's got so much flavour. Add in all of those fresh crunchy vegetables. Add in some crunchy roasted peanuts. Now we just need to make a little dressing. So the key with making this dressing is having the perfect balance of sweet, salty, sour and hot flavours, which is really key to Asian cooking. For the hotness we've got the chili, for the sourness we've got the lemon juice, for the saltiness we've got the fish sauce, you could also use soy sauce. I'm adding some brown sugar for the sweetness. And I like to add a little bit of extra virgin olive oil or avocado oil as well. Mix it around and make sure you taste it. That's good. There's some heat in that dressing because I left the seeds in the chili. If you don't want it hot, of course you can take the seeds out and just put the skin of the chili in. That's beautiful though. Pour the dressing into the salad and make sure you do this part just before you serve the dish. Toss everything together. And the last, one of the most important pieces of this dish is lots of fresh herbs. So lots of coriander and mint. And I just like to roughly tear up the herbs and sprinkle it all over the salad. For the final touch, you could add some more roasted peanuts on top. And there you have it, a Vietnamese lemongrass chicken noodle salad. That's one fresh, healthy, tasty dish. If you've never been to Southeast Asia before, if you make this dish, it will make you want to go.